The year is 722 BC. The once mighty kingdom of Israel, divided after Solomon's reign, has fallen. The Assyrian Empire, a ruthless force known for its brutality, has swept through the land. The Israelites, conquered and scattered, are now lost to history. This event casts a long shadow over the remaining kingdom of Judah. It serves as a stark warning of what happens to those who stray from God. The people of Judah are aware of their vulnerability. They have witnessed the might of Assyria. They know that their own survival depends on their faithfulness to God. Yet, despite the warnings of prophets like Isaiah and Micah, sin and idolatry continue to plague the land. The stage is set for a new empire to emerge and challenge Judah's existence. As the Assyrian Empire begins to weaken, a new power rises in the east, Babylon. Located in the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia, Babylon grows in strength and ambition. Under the leadership of King Nabopolassar, Babylon challenges Assyrian dominance. In 612 BC, Babylon, allied with the Medes, conquers Nineveh, the Assyrian capital. This victory marks a turning point in ancient Near Eastern history. Babylon is now the dominant power in the region. Judah, caught in the middle of this power struggle, faces a new and formidable enemy. Nebuchadnezzar II, son of Nabopolassar, ascends to the throne of Babylon. Ambitious and ruthless, he is determined to expand his empire. Judah, a vassal state of Egypt, becomes a target of his ambition. In 605 BC, Nebuchadnezzar's forces clash with the Egyptians at the Battle of Carchemish. The Babylonians win a decisive victory, shattering Egypt's power in the region. Nebuchadnezzar then turns his attention towards Judah. He lays siege to Jerusalem and forces King Jehoiakim into submission. As a symbol of his dominance, Nebuchadnezzar deports a group of young and elite Judeans to Babylon. Among them are Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, later renamed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. In the opulent and often decadent court of Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel and his companions face enormous challenges. They are pressured to assimilate into Babylonian culture, a culture that contradicts their faith. However, they remain steadfast in their devotion to God. Daniel, blessed with wisdom and understanding, rises to prominence in the Babylonian court. He interprets Nebuchadnezzar's dreams, revealing the king's own anxieties and God's ultimate sovereignty. Daniel's unwavering faith in the face of adversity serves as a beacon of hope for his fellow exiles. It is a testament to the enduring power of faith even in the most difficult of circumstances. Section 5. Zedekiah's Rebellion. A costly mistake. Back in Jerusalem, King Jehoiakim rebelled against Babylonian rule, relying on the false hope of Egyptian support. This rebellion proves to be a fatal mistake. Nebuchadnezzar, enraged by Jehoiakim's defiance, returns to Judah with his army. Jehoiakim dies during the siege, and his son Jehoiachin surrenders to Nebuchadnezzar. He, along with thousands of Judeans, is deported to Babylon in 597 BC. Nebuchadnezzar then installs Zedekiah, Jehoiakim's uncle, as a puppet king. Zedekiah, influenced by false prophets and his own fears, eventually rebels against Babylon, sealing Judah's fate. Section 6. The fall of Jerusalem, a city in ruins. Nebuchadnezzar, upon hearing of Zedekiah's betrayal, lays siege to Jerusalem once more. The siege is long and brutal, lasting for 2 agonizing years. Inside the city walls, the inhabitants face starvation and disease. The once mighty Jerusalem is reduced to a shadow of its former glory. In 586 BC, the Babylonian army breaches the walls of Jerusalem. The city falls, marking a pivotal moment in Judah's history. The temple, the holiest site in Judaism, is destroyed. Zedekiah, captured while attempting to flee, is forced to witness the execution of his sons before his own eyes are put out. The remaining inhabitants of Jerusalem are either killed or deported to Babylon, leaving the city in ruins. Section 7. Exile in Babylon. A crisis of faith. The destruction of Jerusalem and the subsequent exile in Babylon create a profound crisis of faith for the Jewish people. They are overwhelmed by grief, anger, and a sense of abandonment. Their beloved city lies in ruins. Their temple is no more, and they are strangers in a strange land. Their world, once defined by the law of Moses and centered around the temple in Jerusalem, has been shattered. They question God's justice and their own identity. The Psalms of this period reflect their despair. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept, when we remembered Zion. Psalm 137 verse 1. Section 8. Ezekiel's visions, words of judgment and hope. Amidst this despair, the prophet Ezekiel emerges as a voice in the wilderness. Called by God while still in exile, Ezekiel delivers a message both unsettling and ultimately hopeful. He uses vivid imagery and symbolic actions to convey God's judgment against Judah's sin and idolatry. He reminds the people that their suffering is a direct consequence of their unfaithfulness. However, Ezekiel's message is not limited to condemnation. He also offers a message of hope for the future. He speaks of a time when God will gather his people back to their land, cleanse them from their sins, and restore their fortunes. Section 9. A promise of restoration, hope amidst despair. Ezekiel's prophecies offer a glimmer of hope to the exiled community. He assures them that God has not abandoned them. He will, in his own time, fulfill his promises to Abraham and David. The prophet's message serves as a source of comfort and encouragement during their long exile. Ezekiel's vision of the dry bones coming back to life, Ezekiel 37, becomes a powerful symbol of God's power to restore and renew. This vision reassures the people that even in their current state of despair, God can bring forth life and hope. The promise of restoration becomes a central theme in Jewish thought and fuels their longing for a return to their homeland. It is a promise that will eventually be fulfilled, but not without enduring great hardship and remaining faithful to God's covenant.